All right, guys, we're back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And guys, we're going to talk a little bit about Keyshawn, the businessman Davis. He's been trending, I would say, for all the wrong reasons. Now, I did see the video with Greg Hackett and, him verbally, I would say, crucifying Keyshawn Davis. And my thoughts on that is that I have to agree with the things that he was saying about Keyshawn. The things that he's been doing, not really sitting, good with his African-American fan base. He doesn't have the same energy for certain people. And, people are seeing that, they're seeing right through it. Now, let me start off by saying this. I'm a fan of Keyshawn. I think, he's a phenomenal athlete. I think he has a great skill set. I think he can go far in the sport. And I can understand how he's out here, trying to rebuild his brand, doing the sparring sessions while he's streaming, sparring with people like Blueface and other celebrities and, just trying to be a man of the people. But I'll say this, you wouldn't have to be rebuilding your brand if you didn't self-sabotage your own brand. That's right. He's in a position right now where he is. It's because the decisions that he made, the bad decisions that he made. And of course, it all started out with the Edwin De Los Santos fight. You didn't make weight. The fight never took place. They decided to walk De Los Santos and his team. You let a lot of people down. You let down your promoter. You let down your fans, people that were backing you. And to me, as a fan, it honestly, it looked like you didn't want to fight De Los Santos. It looked like a duck move. It looked like a duck move. A guy that had been sitting on the shelf for 2 years, Edwin De Los Santos, that is. And don't get me wrong, I think Edwin De Los Santos is a phenomenal athlete himself. He gave Shakur Stevenson problems. And I think maybe you saw that and maybe you felt like you weren't ready for it. And you decided to pull, this stunt. And, you never went back to try to rectify that situation. Then after that, of course, you had the incident when they hear Albright. And then, you decide to leave one of the best teams in boxing. I'm talking about Bo Mack and Terrence Bud Crawford, because they would not co-sign your BS, your bullshit. So yeah, you've been making all the wrong moves, in my opinion. And people see that. And they see right through that. And now here you are trying to rebuild your brand. And then, people see that you're out here clout chasing. You're definitely clout chasing Devin Haney. Yeah, you're clout chasing Abdullah Mason. And it's, it kind of looks pathetic. The things that you're doing, and you're palling around with Ryan Garcia now. I saw Ryan Garcia said that he wouldn't fight you because you're his brother. When did you two guys ever become so tight? That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is the same Ryan Garcia that called African Americans the N-word. This Ryan Garcia, the racist Ryan Garcia. And you didn't have that much smoke for Teofimo Lopez, who called you a monkey. So yeah, your fan base is calling you out on your BS, on your shenanigans. And I think, you shouldn't ignore this. I think you should take this head on. I think you should try to make it right with the people that support you, because you're losing supporters every day. You're losing supporters, your African-American fan base. That's what I'm trying to say, because you're out here doing too much. At the same time, not doing enough. But yeah, I'm disappointed in Keyshawn, like a lot of you guys. I expected better from him. I don't know. Like I said, I think he can go far in the sport. I even went as far as to say that he could be, a Terrence Bud Crawford type, with time. but he seems to be on a path of destruction, destroying his own career. I just, I don't think he's ready yet for guys like Devin Haney. That's my personal opinion, but I see the clout chasing. I don't think he thinks he's ready. To be honest with you guys, I just think he's selling wolf tickets because he wants to get his brand out there, his name out there. But you guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Greg Hackett was right about Keyshawn Davis? Do you think he was a little bit harsh? What do you think Keyshawn can do to get back in the good graces of his fans? You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.